The New York Rangers get a nice 4-3 overtime win against the Buffalo Sabres and a nice bounce-back win after a disappointing loss against the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, the first two periods, I would say the Rangers were the better team against the Oilers in that one. But then obviously they kind of fell apart there in the third, giving up 4 goals pretty quickly there, and then obviously ended up losing the game. But either way, the Rangers still bounced back in this one with a nice win, and a 4-3 win in overtime. It wasn't too bad at all. Igor came up very clutch in overtime, really helping this team out, and he was a big part of this win, although he didn't have the best game overall. The numbers, you can take a look at the numbers here. He stopped 27 out of 30 shots. The save percentage doesn't say he played great, but he did play good, especially in overtime there. He really was a big part of this win for the Rangers. So good on Igor having a pretty good game, especially in overtime. And then Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, he had an all right game for Buffalo, made some good saves, but early on really struggled. But as the game got going, he definitely looked a little better. But he stopped 29 out of 33 shots, so he did all right, but definitely not too great. Overall, though, a pretty solid win for the Rangers, and this was a very good, important win for the Rangers, obviously. After, like I said, a very bad, disappointing loss against the Oilers there, this was a nice bounce-back win. The Rangers have done very good so far this season on back-to-back, so this is a good sign here. The Rangers keep winning, keep finding ways to bounce back after losses, so that is a very good sign here with this team. But starting off here in the first period, we see the Rangers are putting a lot of pressure early. They don't get any goals early on, but they get a few good chances, and then we see later on the Rangers finally get on the board here with Johnny Brodzinski and Nick Bonino. They were on the forecheck there, creating a turnover. Then Brodzinski gets the puck, and he passes to Ryan Lindgren at the point, and he shoots with a few bodies in front there, and it goes through, and the Rangers go up 1-0 there, assisted by Brodzinski and Nick Bonino. So a nice goal there. Lindgren gets a goal. Obviously, he doesn't get too many, but when he does, he gets a few one of these goals every once in a while. Obviously, just a nice point shots, getting right through a few bodies. Nice screen there, and definitely a nice goal for Lindgren. That puts the Rangers up 1-0. And then we see here a little later on, Jordan Greenway, he gets a 2-minute penalty for hooking. Panarin passes over to Zibanejad, and then he passes right back to Panarin, and he rips one past Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And not too long after the Rangers extend their lead to 2, we see Jordan Greenway make a nice pass over to Rasmus Dahlin, and he ends up scoring to cut the lead back down to 1. So unfortunate there by the Rangers. Right after they extend their lead to 2, they give up a goal there, also assisted by Casey Mittelstadt. So not great there defensively by the Rangers. And then we see, though, into the second period, we see Jack Quinn. He's able to just walk right into the slot, and he rips one past Igor. He has a great shot, and he's able to just kind of walk in. So, again, not great defensively by the Rangers. He's able to just walk in wide open, rips one past Igor. A nice clean shot. Really has a lot of time and space, and he really shouldn't be able to do that, but there he is. He gets a shot off, and he rips one past Igor to tie things up at 2. Also assisted by J.J. Peterka and Dylan Cousins, 2 other great young players for the Buffalo Sabres. Then we see here Lindgren. He makes a nice long pass over to Blake Wheeler. He passes over to Kreider, who shoots. He gets stopped. Zibanejad buries the rebound to regain the Rangers' lead to make things 3-2. So a nice goal there by Zibanejad. He had a great game in this one, so good for him. Then we see, though, Will Cooley. He makes a clean hit on Ryan Johnson, the Buffalo Sabres D-man. And then we see Will Cooley ends up fighting Eric Johnson, the other Johnson on the Buffalo Sabres, the other Buffalo Sabres Johnson D-man. And then we see here he ends up winning that fight. But just kind of a weird one there. Obviously, clean hit, ends up having to fight. So obviously, Eric Johnson gets the 10-minute misconduct. He gets a 5-minute for fighting, obviously, as well. And then a 2-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike, I believe, because he obviously started the fight. And then we see here Jeff Skinner. He got a 10-minute misconduct because he was kind of, chirping back at the refs. Obviously didn't like some calls, so he ended up getting a 10-minute misconduct. So then we see here going into the third period, though, with 13 minutes left in the third, Schneider ends up trying to make a pass. It ends up going off of a stick, bouncing out in front, right to Mittelstadt, and he ends up scoring to tie things up at 3 in the third period there with about 13 minutes left. So not great there by Braden Schneider. He's definitely had some defensive issues so far this season. He definitely hasn't quite taken that step forward in his development so far this year. So hopefully that ends up happening at some point this year in the second half, or at least next year, because he's obviously still a great young D-man, but right now he hasn't quite taken that step into kind of truly proving that he can be a top 4 D-man. So hopefully that does end up eventually happening. But either way, it's an unfortunate one there. But he has had some great plays at points in this game and at points in other games. Just at some points, he definitely has made some big kind of issues and mistakes like this where he has caused some goals. But either way, he's still a very solid player. Then taking a look here later on, we see there were 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third period. Barclay Gaudreau takes a 2-minute penalty for high sticking. And then we see here with 24 seconds left on the PK, Rasmus Dahlin gets 2 minutes for hooking. So The power play ends up going on into overtime as things were still tied up at 3. And then we see that the Rangers don't score on that power play. And then, though, later on, Casey Middlestat ends up getting a breakaway. Igor makes a great stop. And then right after that, we see Igor make a couple great saves again as he hit a bunch of great saves during overtime. And obviously didn't have the best game overall in regulation, but especially in overtime, he played great. And taking a look at Igor's numbers in this game, stopping 27 out of 30 shots, having a not great save percentage in this one. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but in overtime, he played fantastic and was a massive part of this win for the Rangers. So taking a look here, Fox makes a pass over to Zibanejad, who makes a great move. And then he passes out front to Kreider, who has a wide open net, and he buries it to give the Rangers the nice 4-3 overtime win. And the overall performance by the Rangers in this one definitely wasn't the best, but it wasn't too bad at all. I mean, coming out here with a nice 4-3 overtime win, getting the 2 points. Obviously didn't have the best game, but still a nice 2 points here by the Rangers. And, Zibanejad, he had a great game in this one. Kreider, another phenomenal game. I mean, some guys here had some great games. This should be a nice win for the Rangers, obviously now going into the Christmas break. These guys definitely deserved it and definitely earned this break that they're going to get. They have been definitely exceeding expectations so far this season. So hopefully that does continue as we get on to the later part of the season and into the playoffs as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please smash the like button. Don't forget to comment down below your guys' thoughts on this nice 4-3 overtime win for the New York Rangers. And also don't forget to subscribe for daily New York Rangers content. And if you also want to become a channel member, you can click that join button right beside the subscription button down below as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.